millions of brothers have turned to eBay to escape the rat race. Become your own boss and get the Power Seller Research ebook. It's a comprehensive, step-by-step guide that explains how to start an eBay business. The website is powersellerresearch.com. Again, that's powersellerresearch.com.
That getting with girls with low self-esteem is pretty much a waste of time.
Why?
It's no fun because the whole thing is it's a game, right?
No, for me it isn't.
What?
Not for me it isn't.
You don't think it's a game?
Well, I've always compared ejaculation on this show to urination. Men need it, right?
Right.
Okay. So let's say you needed to take a wicked pee.
Right.
Is it more fun to drive 65 miles to the next rest area or to pull into a BP station at the next light?
I guess to pull into BP station.
Right. And it's the same thing with ejaculation.
Yeah, but if
do you want to take days or weeks to ejaculate, or would you like to do it tonight?
No, I can do it any night with anybody.
But the thing is, you say you can do it any night with anybody, but why do you need a challenge?
Because it makes it more fun.
I don't think so.
It's more fun because it's a bigger. If you play an easy game.
By the way, if you're getting hot chicks and you're getting laid, why do you need to make it any harder than it is?
Because it's just a better. It's more of a challenge. If it's more of a challenge.
Why do you need it to be a challenge? I don't understand this.
What?
Why do you need it to be a challenge?
Because it's a game. You get more satisfaction.
I don't get more satisfaction that way. I'll tell you when I start getting annoyed.
Really?
I start terming women with the term TMW.
I guess if they're not responding to you, then
you like the TMW chicks, right?
What's the TMW?
Too much work.
No, the work's what makes it fun.
You go out with all the chicks I reject.
No, I go out with all the hot chicks. Trust
I go out with all the hot chicks who are not TMW.
I get with the 10s first night, no matter what.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
I'm serious, Tom.
All right.
No
Very
doubt.
good. All right, Cole.
Anyways.
Don't believe a word you're saying. Thank you.
From Los Angeles, it's the Tom Leykis Show. And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No! I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. Did you see this story? Actress Deborah Messing, star of the NBC hit comedy Will and Grace, has been ordered to stay off her feet for the rest of her pregnancy, forcing her to miss the show's final 4 episodes this season, according to NBC. An NBC spokesman said production of the Thursday night sitcom has been quietly proceeding for the past 3 weeks without Messing, 35, who was 8 months pregnant and expecting her first child with screenwriter husband Daniel Zellman at the end of April. Messing spokeswoman Annette Wolf said the flame-haired actress is doing great, though her doctor, quote, ordered her to be careful and take it easy, and preferably bed rest. She added that there were no complications with the pregnancy. As a result, her character, now understand, this is not an ensemble show like Friends where you've got 6 friends and one of them can't be there. It's Will and Grace. Well, now it's just Will and. As a result, her character is being written out of the final episodes of this season, including the one-hour season finale set to air April 29th, with a guest appearance by Jennifer Lopez. The finale, which is being filmed this week, will center around the wedding of Grace's outlandish friend Karen, who is played by Megan Mullally. She's getting married to a character played by British comedian John Cleese. The network spokesman said he did not have details about how Messing's character was being written out of the show for the finale, but said it would involve Grace being sick and unable to attend the wedding. Last season, Grace married her new love interest, played by Harry Connick Jr. Because I'm not gay, I didn't know that. I thought for sure one day, really, honestly, I thought one day on a very special episode of Will and Grace, Will would announce he's not really gay and would marry Grace. That would be how Will and Grace would play out. How could she marry somebody else? The true love of her life is Will. Says here, although a previous storyline involved Grace attempting to have a baby fathered by Will, Messing's character is not pregnant on the show, which requires producers to obscure her condition this season with a lot of shots of her sitting down and wearing loose-fitting clothes. Will and Grace, nearing the end of its sixth season, is one of NBC's top-rated shows in prime time. It's averaged about 15.4 million viewers per week this season. I got to say this. It's one thing if you've got a brain tumor or appendicitis. If you find you've got cancer. If you come down with pneumonia. Or some such. Pregnancy is not an illness. It is an elective condition. One which can be planned for the appropriate time. There are anywhere from 22 to 24 episodes of a show per season. Each episode takes 1 week to rehearse, block out, and shoot. What that means is you're working less than half the year. There are 6 months in the year where you are not working. Maybe, all right, let's call it 5. Let's say you come in for some pre-show meetings or something. You got 5 months off. You can do whatever you want with those 5 months. You've seen TV actors take movie roles in their off time, or appear on Broadway, make albums, whatever. If you want to have a baby, and you're not filming shows,
Start your own business? Millions of brothers have turned to eBay to escape the rat race. Become your own boss and get the Power Seller Research ebook. It's a comprehensive, step-by-step guide that explains how to start an eBay business. The website is powersellerresearch.com. Again, that's powersellerresearch.com.
In the months of April, May, June, and July, and maybe August, I was like, April, May, June, and July are pretty definite. If you're on a show that runs from fall to spring every year, April, May, June, and July, you ain't filming nothing. Wouldn't it make sense, if those are the months you're not working, to get knocked up in months like August, September, October, so that 9 months later you'd have a baby when the show is not in production? This can be planned, you know. You can use birth control in the months that would result in a birth taking place during production of the show. This is a multi-million-dollar business. Just this show. Network television is a multi-billion-dollar business. This is not fooling around here. How in the world Can we have a system where people are just simply allowed to, yeah, I know, we're paying you this huge salary to be on a network TV show where you are one of the two main characters. What are there, 4 main characters on the show? And 2 in the title? You're one of the 2 main characters, and, you're just going to have a baby whenever you damn well feel like. I know it's a politically correct age, and I know that the entertainment industry tends to be politically correct. But you know what? This was pretty goddamn irresponsible. It could hurt the ratings of the show. It could hurt the tune-in factor. Obviously, if you've continued to use Deborah Messing year in and year out, she must be pretty good at what she does. Wouldn't it be responsible to try to get pregnant in months when the show's not in production so that you don't have to... for Christ's sake, there's only 22 to 24 episodes a year. Can't you use the other 28 weeks of the year to get knocked up? Huh? Doesn't make any sense. My God, you could have gotten knocked up in, I don't know. Doing a little subtraction here. If you got knocked up in October, you'd have the baby in July. September, June. November, August. You could have done that, but you didn't. I'm sure there are laws in California that protect women and give them the right to do anything they want, anytime they want. And I'm sure if the producers of this show tried to sue Deborah Messing, they'd get shot down. Because I know how the courts treat men in this country and companies that try to tell women that, hey, you've got a contract and you've got a job to do and you should be here. Not like you broke your leg or something. This is something you could have controlled and you didn't. Don't you think the producers ought to be able to sue her for this? Don't you think she ought to be penalized in some way for allowing herself to get knocked up while this show is in production, huh?
Tom Leykis.
Come on.
1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
How are you today?
Do you care?
Yes, I do, because I don't want you to rip me a new one because I don't agree with you on what you say.
The Tom Leykis Show.
On 100 Tom is our telephone number. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. It's Sally on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
How are you doing, Tom?
Great.
I do care.
Good.
Hey, I was calling in because as I was leaving for work, I checked the news on Yahoo online, and I saw this story, and it touched me personally because I am 37 weeks pregnant, which means I'm due in about 2.5 weeks, and I'm an elementary school teacher, and I'm still working, which means I'm on my feet between, 7 and 10 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
If I go in early, and I'm just wondering, is Deborah Messing getting paid for these shows that she's not going to do?
I don't know, but beyond that, she has a contract to be there.
Yeah.
Like I have a contract to be here. And to be specific, I have a contract to be here 47 weeks a year minus 5 holidays. That's my contract. It's not a secret. If you tune in, you pretty much know that I run 5 weeks of reruns every year, plus 5 individual days. That's how much time I have off. I'm required to be here. Now, if I find out I've got a brain tumor or I have to have an appendectomy or something, obviously I've got sick days, and that's accounted for in my contract. But if I volunteer to have, breast implants, should I be able to say, oh, I'm sick, I've got the vapors, I can't come in? The company should be able to can my ass.
Well, that, and, I'm just wondering, obviously she makes a lot more than I do. I'm a public school teacher. But, I can only afford to be out. I have my sick days, which I'm going to use up. And then, I can afford to be out what I can afford to be out. And other than that, I got to be at work. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I don't have the luxury of putting my feet up for the last month of my pregnancy.
Do you think that if the producers chose to, and I don't know if they would, but if they chose to, shouldn't they be able to sue her and say, hey, this is a primetime top 10 TV show, and you have a contract. And getting pregnant is a luxury, and it's optional, and it's something you could have controlled, and you didn't.
Possibly. I'm not going to say yes, but...
Why not?
I would leave it open to negotiation. I'm not going to say yes. I don't know.
Why? I mean, come on. Take a stand.
Take a stand.
Yeah.
Possibly. No, I'm going to sit on the fence on that one.
I never understand why anonymous people call shows. And then they say, I'm going to sit on the fence. Take a stand. Be like a talk show host. Be completely unreasonable. Take a stand and live with it.
All right. Then I'll agree with you, Tom, because I do agree with you on most things.
All right.
And you're right. It is big business. I mean, these producers, executive producers, they spend a ton of cash to get these big-name stars. And, yeah, I mean, like you said, it does conceivably affect the bottom line. So, I would be rather annoyed, I think. Especially, she's still got like another month and a half to go. I mean, it's not like it's the most grueling work on the planet. I mean, yeah, it's long hours, but a lot of it is spent sitting down and craft services or, you know, whatever. I don't know.
Well, believe me, if you've ever watched a sitcom be filmed, I mean, they frequently go all night. They'll do the same punchline 12 times because they didn't get a shot or because somebody was out of frame or they had a wardrobe issue or so. I mean, they having to say the same funny line. It's grueling. Look, I'll tell you what, it's grueling work.
But not physically grueling. I don't think it's physically grueling.
Well, whether it is or it isn't. You know, you got half the year to deliver a baby. Wouldn't it be more responsible to plan for the months when you don't have to be there? It's not like my job where, you know, there's a 52-week year and I get 5 weeks off. You get half the year off.
That's true.
How can you miss, 4 out of 22 shows? How do you do that?
I don't know. I wish I had a...
So you can fulfill yourself by having a baby. All right, Sally.
All right. See you soon.
Thank you. Really? Come on down. Wait till you've had the baby, though. 1-800-5800-TOM. Gabriella on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. I think you're crazy.
You do?
A woman can't decide or plan when she's going to have a baby.
Of course she can.
If that was the case,
you ever hear of an organization that's very well known? It's called Planned Parenthood?
Yeah, well, I've been planning.
Is that fiction? You can't plan?
Well, you can certainly have the best intentions of planning. I mean, I'm planning right now, and it's not happening. So
but what you can do is plan not to get pregnant during certain months. You can plan that.
Yeah, but I mean, Deborah Messing, she's 35 years old, and I mean, your likeliness of having babies decreases as you age. And who knows how long she's actually been planning? She might have been planning for, how.
Start your own business? Millions of brothers have turned to eBay to escape the rat race. Become your own boss and get the Power Seller Research ebook. It's a comprehensive, step-by-step guide that explains how to start an eBay business. The website is powersellerresearch.com. Again, that's powersellerresearch.com.
However long she's been married, and certainly I'm sure she wasn't not planning to get pregnant during the times that she was off.
Oh, please. You're telling me now, with the technology that's available today, if people properly use birth control, you're telling me they can't plan not to get pregnant?
Sure, she can.
I speak as a man, by the way, who's 47, and I have never, ever accidentally had a baby or accidentally been with someone who accidentally got pregnant and accidentally gave birth. It just hasn't happened.
Well, you're assuming that Deborah Messing wasn't planning, but I mean, she probably was planning, okay, I'm getting married, I'm going to have a baby. So she could have had all the best intentions to say,
But she didn't plan not to have one in the month of April.
Well, yeah, because you can't plan that. I mean,
of course you can.
Yeah, but you can't. If you're trying to get pregnant, you're going to keep trying and trying. You get one shot at it a month. Well, if it doesn't happen in July and it doesn't happen in August, and then you start stressing out because you're 35, and now you're like, okay, well.
Well, then, you know what? And this is, again, women are just given these prerogatives all the time. Why don't you just tell the producers of the show to shove it up their ass? You're not available because now you want to have babies. So that's the end. It's Will and somebody else.
Well, you know what? I'm not.
Because Deborah Messing wants the money and wants to keep the gig. So the fact is, it's like screw you to the producers, and she'll use the laws of the state of California to hide.
Well, you don't even know that that's happening. I mean, Deborah Messing, I know people that would say, you know what, I will go unpaid.
Believe me, well, you know what, though? If I had a contract with somebody to appear on a top 10 show and I'm making millions of dollars, and they ace the last 4 weeks of the season, if I get away with it and win, I'd sue their ass. There'd be no two ways about it. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number.
The Tom Leykis Show. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles. At 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Deborah Messing, who plays Grace on Will and Grace, she's preggers. And so for the last 4 episodes of Will and Grace, well, she just won't be there. There's no lawsuit or anything. That's probably because they never win. Women can do whatever they want, whenever they want. They can sign contracts, promise to be places. And they go, whoops, my life interfered. Sorry. Maritza, on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hello.
Yes.
I completely 100% disagree with you.
Why?
Okay, first of all, Tom, I haven't been a listener of yours too long. On and off. I have a lot of male friends that listen to you.
Bet you do.
And yes, I do, and that's why I started listening. And usually, you know...
So obviously they all know the truth, which is they all want to nail you.
Don't tell my boyfriend that.
Yeah, but believe me, if your boyfriend's a listener, he knows.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, they all want to nail you.
Right. Well, they're not going to. So
Some of them probably already have in the past.
Oh, no.
He's my friend, honey.
Oh, God.
I can't stop talking to my friends.
Moving on to the point here.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Okay, here's the thing. First of all, if a television show, okay, knows that, okay, Will and Grace are friends because also Courtney Cox is pregnant and they're working around her pregnancy. Yeah. If they know that they're taking on a woman, okay, that is pregnant, or they're taking on a woman, period, they know that that's going to happen more than likely.
But it can be controlled, can't it?
So it's their
But can it not be controlled?
To a certain extent.
Not to a certain extent.
No. Even birth control is 98.9%. Nothing is 100%.
First of all,
just like condoms aren't 100%.
Right, but a combination of birth control devices would certainly prevent that from happening. And on top of that, there's always abortion. You do not have to get pregnant in the middle of a TV season.
Well, clearly she wants to get pregnant, and they know that they're...
Who knows what they know? Who knows whether they know that or not?
If you're signing on a woman, Will and Grace being that other person,
right?
They know this is a woman.
You could always do what they did on Bewitched to bring in the new Darren. You just bring in another Grace, be done with it. Fire her ass and get somebody else in there who's going to show up for every episode.
They run the risk of ratings.
But they really don't. Bewitched stayed on the air with the new Darren back in the 70s or the 60s, whenever that was. They did one season, one guy played Darren on Bewitched, and the next season another guy came in and played Darren, and people kept watching.
But besides that, yeah, that's true. They could fire her, okay?
It's been done before.
Yeah, they could fire her. I don't think they should, and I don't think that they have the right to fire her.
They should have the right.
But like you said, they wouldn't win. And I'll tell you why they wouldn't win.
They should be able to win.
And there's too much demand in television for women, period.
What do you mean there's demand for women? There's demand for women in a lot of places. Demand for women at your average cheap motel.
The point is, she has the right to get pregnant when she wants to get pregnant, period.
The point is, you have a right to get pregnant whenever you want, but if you sign a contract and say, I'm coming in for 24 episodes a year, unless I become incapacitated by illness, then, damn it, you better be there. You have a responsibility to show up.
But you know what? She is working through her pregnancy. Obviously, once she has the baby, she can't stay there.
Well, the fact is, she's not working through her pregnancy. She worked through part of her pregnancy, and now she's not working anymore.
How much time does she have to go?
She will have the baby at the end of April. She will miss the last 4 episodes.
She probably got. You know what?
She's gonna miss almost 20% of the episodes of the season.
Okay, I got you. But
that's a lot.
Over 35, correct? She's over.
She is 35.
So it's a high-risk pregnancy. 35 and over, it's a high-risk pregnancy.
The point is, she could have prevented this pregnancy and gotten pregnant at a time when she could deliver when the show's not in production.
But not everything is so cookie-cut dry, Tom. A woman can't just say, okay, I'm going to get pregnant. Lay on top of me, honey. Let's get pregnant. It doesn't just work.
No, but the point is you can be pretty certain you won't get pregnant if you want to stop it from happening. Hang on a second. Renee, what did you want to say to Maritza?
Maritza, you have got to be kidding. If you sign a contract with almost anything, you sign that contract saying you're going to do something. And the bottom line is you need to do it. She could have gotten pregnant any other time and made sure that she had that baby outside of her contract.
I understand that, Renee. Renee, I understand that.
She didn't have to have sex.
I'm sure she was trying to get pregnant those other months and didn't.
Okay, but if she didn't, then they need to fire her or they need to sue her because she should not get paid.
The point is, they're not going to fire her.
But they should, and that's the bottom line. Or she should be sued because there's no excuse for her not doing what the contract said. If it says that she needs to be there, she needs to be there.
Let's face it, even if she got sued, she could afford it, and she'd do it again, and it'd be a slap on the wrist.
On top of that, they specifically said that she was healthy. There was no problem with her. And so if there's no problem and she's healthy, then she needs to work through that pregnancy.
Even if you're healthy,
until the day I had my child.
No, you're wrong.
Until the day I had my child. So there's no excuse for her not to work. I broke my leg. I'm still working with a broken leg. There's no excuse.
Does not change that.
There's no excuse for her not to sit down and finish working. She only has 4 shows to go.
Listen, you could be 40, 45, be a marathon runner, whatever. It's still a high-risk pregnancy.
It is not a high-risk pregnancy.
Yes,
they did not say that she was high-risk, and they did not say that she wasn't healthy. They said that her pregnancy was going fine.
Because your body after 35 changes.
Because the fact of the matter is, if you don't have a problem in your pregnancy, then you can work. You can work. Well, then you must have never had kids before because you must not know. I worked until the last day. I was able to work until the last day. I provided my job with the service that
That's what I always say.
It changes. Your body
they hired me to do a service. I did that service, and she needs to do that service. She was hired to do something. Bottom line, she needs to do it, or she shouldn't have gotten pregnant.
No,
period.
Bottom line, they know what they're
or she should have done it when she wasn't working. Or she should have done it when she wasn't working. She signed a contract. Is she in compliance with the contract? Is she in compliance with the contract? Yes or no? She's not.
What I'm telling you is if anybody's here to blame, it is the television station.
How was that? How was that?
Well,
just because they hired a
somebody
woman?
Somebody at NBC knock her up? I had no idea.
Exactly. Just because they hired a woman, you're proving Tom's point that they shouldn't hire women. You're proving
I'm not saying not to hire women. I'm saying they hired
women. Just go off and have babies whenever they want to and not follow through with their job.
Hey, you can't disagree with me with that. They hire women. They're taking the chance that the woman's going to get pregnant whenever she wants to get pregnant.
That's the reason why Tom says that we shouldn't get paid as much
or not.
It's because
we are woman's choice. It is the woman's choice.
Exactly.
They should not
keep the baby. Then they should not hire her then.
It's a woman's choice. No matter how you cut it, it's the woman's choice. And it will always be the woman's choice.
Then she should pay. She should pay for her decisions.
And she
should pay for her decisions.
If they want to
she should pay for it. She made that choice to short them those 4 episodes, and she needs to pay for that. She needs to pay for that.
They took the risk.
There is no risk. What is the risk? There's no risk. Her pregnancy is fine. They already said her pregnancy was fine. There is no risk
of the rest of the show, so they're taking that chance.
There is no risk.
Look,
what is the likelihood of something happening
the one hiring the people? I know that there's that chance. Look,
something's wrong with you.
Right now,
you must be demented. You must be
demented. I must be demented.
And that's the reason why Tom says that women should get paid less because of that reason. And to me, that's ridiculous. I worked up until the day I had my baby, and there was no excuse. I got my butt up, and I got in there. And I didn't even have a contract.
That's not even the point. Even if you work till the very last day.
Absolutely.
You have a problem listening, honey, because you don't let people finish their thoughts or their sentences.
But you never shut up. That's what's wrong with you. You never shut up. You've been talking the whole time. The problem is that you signed a contract.
Excuse me? Unbelievable.
You signed a contract. You signed a contract. You need to follow through with it, period. There's no excuse.
You know what? It's their fault for hiring her. Okay? They could have made a gay show with all guys, And now
all the shows are supposed to be gay? All the shows are supposed to be gay?
They just about are.
Everybody needs to be careful when they hire a woman?
No, look, they could have Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, honey. It's all guys. They ain't going to get pregnant. Okay, maybe they thought about it.
So hire all guys. So all guys now are going to be on the television show, right? Every show is going to be full of guys.
Women get pregnant.
That's
women have babies.
That's ignorant.
Okay? Nobody works through the whole pregnancy.
That's
you
ignorant.
stop working usually 2 weeks before.
Absolutely, they do.
No. That's crap.
Women
That's crap.
who work through their pregnancy. Absolutely.
No, absolutely. But not to the
they
very
do.
last freaking day.
And if there's nothing wrong with you, then you need to go to work. You signed a contract, do your job, period.
She is doing her job.
She's not doing her job.
But she's pregnant. What do you want her to do? Pop out the baby
so ignorant on your show, it doesn't make any sense.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know.
You know for a fact that if you sign a contract, then you need to follow through with it or your ass needs to be sued, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
You know what? The point is, they're not going to sue her because she's half of the show.
No, they're not going to sue her because in the state of California, suing her would be a waste of time because some poor judge would say, oh, this poor delegate, little flower, she eats bed rest. Well, that's the way it works in California. Women are allowed to do whatever they want, kill their husbands, take time off from work.
And that's ignorant.
Sign a prenuptial agreement and later say, I didn't know what I was signing. I mean, women can do whatever they want. That's the way it works, for God's sake.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. Easy on our telephone number. James on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing okay, James.
Hey, listen, I'm in total agreement with you. I think that the producers of that show should sue her. However, you're right, they probably would lose.
Now, in California, I can almost assure you they'd lose.
In Washington State, they'd lose, too, because I've been there. Yeah. But listen, if you took...
Of course, you know what this says, of course. Even though no man who has a brain would ever admit this, why would any man hire a woman for a job unless he absolutely had to, like an actress who had to play a woman in a movie or a TV show? Why would you hire a woman?
Hey, it's the ratings, I guess, and the sex.
Well, that's what I'm saying. On TV, obviously you need people to play women.
Right.
But how about, like, just in everyday life? Why would you hire a woman for a job knowing that she could just take all this time off, not show up? Of course, you guys, I think, have to think twice before hiring a woman for a job where she's needed to be there 48, 49, 50 weeks a year.
I wouldn't.
I think a lot of men wouldn't.
They do. They get away with murder. But in my opinion, if you took the missus away and the issue and explained to the judge that the health, don't explain the health issue, but that she had control over it, then they would win. You follow me?
Well, again, I think in California you'd have a very hard time winning a case like that.
Yeah, but if you take the missus away and what she actually did and explain to the judge that she had control over it, the producers would probably win their case.
But I don't think, even though you're right logically, I don't think any judge or any jury in California, the way the law is written here, would do anything to her. Women have the right to do anything at any time. They can kill their children. They can kill their husbands because they're on the rag. They can kill their children because they thought that they were being hijacked or carjacked. They can take a job and quit. They can, the boss can ask her out on a date and she can say that it was a hostile work environment. I mean, women have the right to change their minds and do whatever they like anytime they like. A woman, and this is the one I've dealt with in my life, a woman can sign a prenuptial agreement and then later on say, whoops, I didn't mean to sign that. I'm just a poor little waif here. What am I? I had no idea what I was signing. I had no idea. And it's perfectly okay.
Yeah, what is with that?
Well,
why is it like this?
Oh, because most guys are pussies and won't do anything about it. I mean, we have politicians who are pussies.
Right.
Bottom line.
I've been through it myself.
Well, I know the state of Washington seems worse than California, believe me.
Tom Leykis. Woof. Tom Leykis. 800-5800. Tom.
Oh, the Tom Leykis Show. Want to speak to Tom?
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Jennifer on the Tom Leykis Show.
Yeah, hi, Tom. How are you?
Great.
I just wanted to make a comment about the fact that, you know, Deborah Messing, she was put on bed rest for her last month of her pregnancy. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. Well, if that's true, then that would be kind of an extenuating circumstance. I would think that it looks more like...
Well, but the point is, this extenuating circumstance wouldn't have come up if she hadn't volunteered to get knocked up.
Right, but it could have been a planned pregnancy to be able to have the baby after the show wrapped for the season. And because of the circumstances that arose, she had to go on bed rest. So that's why she's missing the last 4 episodes. It has nothing to do with not planning for it. It seems more like she planned, but this is an extenuating circumstance she couldn't have planned for.
Well, you know, the fact is that women are getting pregnant on these shows all the time. And they're either having to ride around them or hide them behind plants or whatever they're having to do. But you know what? This is big business. It's big business.
Oh, heck yeah, of course.
And this idea that women can just, just take some downtime anytime they feel like doing something in their personal lives is outrageous to me.
Well, that's one of the perks of being a woman.
And well, you say that, but can I tell you something? I don't have any ability to hire anybody. I'm just a hired hand here. But if I were hiring people for regular jobs, like not TV shows or anything, just regular jobs, I wouldn't hire women. I'd make up some excuse. You're a great candidate for the job. We considered a lot of people, and you were certainly one of the finalists, but thanks for coming in. And then I'd hire men so that I wouldn't have to go through this.
Then that's probably a good thing you don't work in human resources.
Are you kidding? I'd be the smartest guy in human resources because I'd never tell anybody I don't hire women. I just wouldn't do it.
But there are laws.
No, there are. But the point is, people have to prove you discriminated against them. If you tell somebody, hey, I didn't hire you because you're a woman, well, then, of course, you might end up getting sued. But it's just like, they have laws about discriminating in terms of renting to people of various races or religions. And nobody is stupid enough to say, well, you're black, so we're not going to rent to you. And those people all get nailed. But there are other people who just say, well, we had a lot of people who were interested in the apartment, but, well, you were certainly considered. Thank you for coming in. And black folks know there's neighborhoods they can't get into. Not fair, it's not right, but people do it. For God's sake. Our email address is my name. It's Tom@blowmeuptom.com. Tom@blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Start your own business? Millions of brothers have turned to eBay to escape the rat race. Become your own boss and get the Power Seller Research ebook. It's a comprehensive, step-by-step guide that explains how to start an eBay business. The website is powersellerresearch.com. Again, that's powersellerresearch.com.